Tonight we're going to be discussing part 2 of our reality check series. That is Liberia Today. The information that we're getting, are they facts, are they fiction, or just propaganda? We're going to be jumping into it shortly. Please share the video, invite a friend. At the meantime, let's listen to this beautiful song from Nimba County. Live in Atlanta, Unico Campari. Last week we started a series to check what's going on in Liberia. Wherever you stand on the political spectrum, you see that there are a lot of news coming from Liberia. When you listen to one side, you want to go Liberia the same day. When you listen to another group, you don't even want to go to Liberia or even be a Liberian. So what's the truth? To help explore this, we invited some Liberians to give us a true picture of what's going on. But before we introduce our guests, let's get this disclaimer. We want to play this short disclaimer.
The opinions expressed by guests on Focus on Liberia are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed it. They do not represent the opinions of Focus on Liberia or
Gentlemen, welcome to Focus on Liberia. We're so glad to have you. By way of introduction, from joining us from Providence, Rhode Island, is someone who came to the States about 3 years ago. And since then, he's gone back. He was there this year. So he has some perspective on what's going on in Liberia. Mr. Prince M. Boykai. Prince Boykai, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis Jar. You said it all by the way of introduction. I'm Prince M. Boykai from Liberia. People said I was born in central Liberia, Bon County, and I spent most of my time in Bon County. When the war came, after the war, we settled in Monrovia. And again, I settled in Bonneville. From Bonneville, I came to Douala later. Then I settled in the borough of Nikuta, where I spent almost 18 years before moving to the state. And I know most about Liberia. I may not get all to it, but well knowledge about situation in Liberia from the 90s up to present.
So Mr. Boykai, once again, welcome to Focus on Liberia. We're glad to have you.
Thank you very much for this stimulating show. I'm glad to be on it. What I've been saying may not be feel or pleasant in everybody. It will be unpleasant in some people here, but I want to give my opinion to what is going on in Liberia and the way forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, for the second time appearing on this show, Mr. Alex Devine Jr. Alex is the Executive Director of Youth for Change Liberia. He's the guy behind the National Debate Championship and all other things. Alex, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you. It's good to be at this time. Of course, my name is Alex, and I work with young people across this country. I'm a passionate young man. I believe in this country. But I look forward to an exciting conversation.
Great. Alex, your phone was not too clear. Maybe you want you to repeat that.
All right, I said my name is Alex Devine. I, of course, live in Liberia. I am humbled to be working with the young people across this country, and I'm humbled to be at this hour. I look forward to an exciting conversation. Of course, I'm a passionate young man. I believe in this country. I believe there's so much hope for this country, no matter the circumstances or the difficulties that is probably happening right now. But I know there is light at the end of the tunnel. So it's good to be here this evening, and I look forward to a very exciting conversation.
Thank you so much, Alex, from joining us all the way from Monrovia, Liberia. We're glad to have you. We follow your activities, and I'm proud of you that you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the young people. Even before we go into our tonight's discussion, by way of introduction, I want you to also talk a little more about what you're doing right now, or Youth for Change, what you're involved in, and currently what you're working on, just for us to have a picture of who you are and
Okay.
what you bring to the discussion.
Okay. All right. So again, my name is Alex. Serving as the Executive Director for Youth for Change. Youth for Change is an organization that is based on 3 thematic areas. We have to tailor our thematic areas in line with the demand of our country right now. As we all know that the country, is government can't do it all alone. And so it's upon us all to help our country. So our institution, we were intentional about our thematic areas because we know these are the gaps that currently exist in this country. So the 3 thematic areas are education. Education remains, a major challenge in our country, with the challenge we have in the sector. We thought that was important for us to develop an idea around that. So we have thematic area 1 is education, and one of the education areas pillar is where we conduct the National Debate Championship, and then we conduct the EHOP certification program. We run during unification because after unification, many parents are busy, got to go to work, and their kids are vulnerable. So we thought to develop an idea to keep them more engaged with academic activities during unification. So the EHOP is that intervention for that, and then we have another mentorship program. So I know just three weeks ago, the World Bank launched one project called Any Poverty in Learning. Any Poverty in Learning is that sub-Sahara country, young people between the age of 1 to 10 years who are not able to read simple storybook. And the World Bank thing is a major issue for their development drive. So they launched that project. I was opportune to be at the World Bank office, and they launched that project called Any Poverty Learning. So part of the reason why we thought debate was one of the key tools to be able to solve that problem is debate is one discipline, but provides 3 solutions. One of the solutions of debate is that I allow young people to read properly. Second is that I make them be analytical. Third, it makes them to speak well. So if that is a one tool that can solve 3 problems, we thought it was important to introduce it in our country to help our young people across the country. So currently what we are doing, since we started our institution in 2015, we also see around that many of the institutions are just based right in Monrovia, just talking Monrovia. We thought that was a gap. It was important for us to take our idea across. Since 2017, we've been working to debate across the 15 counties. 2018, we did the same. We thought that this year was important for us to establish structure across the country. So just since October 1st to last week, my team were across the 15 counties. They were conducting, they were establishing Youth for Change across the country. So as we speak right now, Youth for Change as an institution is established in 12 of the 15 counties of Liberia. The remaining 3 will be started next week. So we established that. And the debate format we've introduced here is called the Water School Debate, something we learned when we were in Croatia and when South Africa. We thought to bring in Liberia. We also train the young people, DOs and the CEOs across the country to that format. So that's what we, that's what we do in the educational bill. Of course, like I talk about the EHOP is also running. But one of the challenges that remain also is the issue of mentorship. It might interest you to understand that under mentorship, it consists of 3 key areas. In Liberia, we've been successful in achieving one of the pillars on a mentorship. Mentorship talks about 3 areas. One, it talks about discovery. The second mentorship component is talks about development stage, and the last is the promotion stage. In this country, many people have been able to discover a lot of great mentees, to see them at different functions, at different programs, like, oh, you're a smart kid, you can be this, you can be that. They discover them. But the second stage, which is one of the most critical stage of mentorship, is the development stage. The development stage takes everything from you as a mentor. You have to make sure that that kid is okay, they're going to school, that if there's an issue with transportation, you give it to them. If there's an issue with tuition, you need to make sure that they reach to their full potential. Yeah. That has not been successful in this country. Some of you for the key about that, we saw that as a gap. So we introduced that as a major part of our program. Of course, as we go along the way, and I will tell you how this mentorship has been working over time. So mentorship is one. And the last component is the issue of our empowerment. Our empowerment on Youth for Change, we believe we're not giving money into young people's hands, but we're providing a space for them, looking for opportunity like scholarship. Currently, as you know, we got 4 of our students outside of the country. That is the way we empower our young people. We got 1 in China, we got 2 in Morocco. John Sigmund and Yuben Wosoto are there, and we got Sata who left for the US prior to going to school. So we open the space, we look for the opportunity, the scholarship opportunity. We work with them, we apply for the scholarship, and we allow them to get the scholarship to go outside and to learn and come back to that country and contribute to the society. So that's what we do want to Youth for Change. And that's what we've been doing over time to help our government, curb some of the major challenges that this country is faced with at the moment.
Thank you, Alex. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Let me go to you, Prince. Before coming to America 3 years ago, because we want to get your perspective. So I just want a little more about what you were involved in Liberia before coming to the States. And I know you two work with young people. So talk to me about that briefly so we can lay the basis before we get to your perspective of how things are. We just want to know what you're doing, what is it that you bring to the discussion.
Yeah, I want to tell Mr. Alex Devine, thank you so much, Ben. Yeah, but I know him from the borough. So Mr. Devine, thank you very much for your initiative. And when it comes to youth empowerment, it's a huge challenge in Liberia and in Africa as a whole. Liberia being our country, it's a huge challenge. But when I'm in Liberia, I work with Liberia Youth Empowerment Program, LYEP, under the Ministry of Youth and Sport, and we also work with the Beaches and Waterway Project. And besides that, we funded an advocated group near the late Comrade Anthony Broad called Borough Watch. We were greatly involved in advocacy, quickly to the Youth Empowerment Program, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, where the government, through the initiative created a framework that young people will clean their community and try to take some initiative of betterment of life. That every day, every week you go in the community, you clean the community, do some positive thing, and at the end of every month, every month, they pay you like $84. And the money was used for some of their schooling and was also serving as a guiding counselor to them. Encourage them, get back to school, be better in your society, make an impact in your society. And then what we were engaging, after we were engaging and we were working so well, at the end of the year, doing President Sally annual nation address, she made a great input on the youth empowerment program. Later on, the government said, the Minister of Youth and Sport, America, said there was no money. Everybody should go to start a school. Went by. Right after that, Ebola came. And when Ebola came, through the initiative of other colleagues in the borough, we had one of the best task force. We were still working with the young people because we found out more young people were in denial of this deadly virus. We talked to them. We worked with the UNDP, worked with the community chairman and community president, and through the Ministry of Health, we did an excellent job in District 60, Liberia. We have one of the best task force talking to the young people, what to do and what not to do. And from there, we work with the Beaches and Waterway Project in Liberia. and it was a youth impact program through the Ministry of Maritime. Later on, went to the Ministry of Youth and Sport. We did excellent. We were advocating despite was a change of opinion because sometimes they will not get our pay, but we did something that we try our best. And my concentration will be on the youth, because if you look at Liberia and the youth population is swelling up every day. You have people, and it's so amazing that people that are 40 years old, they still taking themselves to be youth. So it sometimes make it difficult to distinguish the youth from the old for the younger generation. Although they are young, but there will be a category. So these challenges are there. You'll see a 40-year-old man, 45-year-old man still taking himself to be youth. So if you talking to the other young guy, you say, oh, why? So the challenge is, why you coming talking to the other guy? You are not talking to me. And for the man, physical appearance, you know that he's now a youth, but you don't have no criteria set that, oh, database why age range, so you consider everybody as a youth at a certain point of time. So these are the challenges, and we've been doing so. For me, in person, we've been doing so. We're talking to the young people, but it's very difficult because the country now. But as I go in, I will get some illustration where we came from and where we find ourselves, and the best way forward.
Thank you all. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight, our topic is Liberia Today. The information we are getting from Liberia on a daily basis, is that propaganda, facts, or fiction? Mr. Alex Devine worked with both my guests tonight, work with youth in Liberia. So, you know, they say in Liberia, they say if you want to know what's going on in the town, listen to the song the children are singing. So both of these fine gentlemen work with youth. Mr. Alex Devine is currently working with the youth population in Liberia. Mr. Prince Boykai worked with them 3 years ago. He's in the USA now, but he's back sometimes, and he's in tune with realities. So, gentlemen, before we can talk about what's going on, because our country is politically so polarized nowadays. So let me see where you stand politically, if you have any party affiliation. So whatever you say, whether it's coming from that perspective, so our people will know before we even jump into it. Let me hear from you, Prince. Who you siding with politically, or what are your political views, and how, to what extent are they going to influence what you're going to tell me tonight?
We had a Bible. Everybody, let me be clear. Well, politically, people may say it influencing my political affiliation or my political party when I'm in Liberia, I affiliate with them. Because right now, the country is so polarized that anything you say, they will attach you to your political party. Yeah. So when I'm in Liberia, I was with the Unity Party from 2005, 2000, up to 2016 before I would leave. We went 2005 campaign, went 2011 campaign. So I may say some things tonight, people say, oh, because the ruling establishment no longer in power. So from that point, he's feeling bad. I will get my opinion. They will say it's politically driven, but I hope I will be so neutral and give my opinion. And the listener will know if it is fact or if it's not fact, because anything I get, some people will not take it to be fact, but I will try to give my candid opinion to what is going on in Liberia. Because from the political point of view, from the social point of view, and where we will see ourselves 10 years from now, all that perspective, I will give my opinion on it. And based on the opinion, those that are listening, they will be the judge.
Thank you. And that's why, because the last time we did the show, we were more into the politics of it. But yeah, today we hope to get a more non-partisan perspective. So let me go to you, Alex. So where you stand, so that my viewers can be aware where you're coming from.
My political party remains Liberia. I've never joined a political party. My political party remains Liberia. I believe in this country. I believe the right policies should be developed. to affect the general good of the people. Every government first and foremost responsibility is to provide basic social services for its citizens. And that is where I stand. I stand that the general good of the country, everyone should have a part to play in it. And so my party Renew Liberia and Renew Liberia.
Good.
I don't have no political attachment. I've never had no political attachment.
Oh, that's good.
I remain with the country. I believe in this country and I believe in the young people. That is why everything life is dedicated to working to making sure that we complement whatever government on board, whether it's the unity body, whether it's the CDC that's working right now. I'm responsible to show that we develop ideas, develop programs that will affect the young people, which constitutes 62% of the population. And so my party remain Liberia and Liberia forever.
Right. So some of the young people you worked with in the past, they were on the show before through your instrumentality. That would be John, Euben, Sata, and Beulah, and they are just incredible young people. We hope to be in contact. So, Prince, you were in Liberia before, and you came in the country, as you told me, 2016.
Yeah.
Went back this year.
Yeah, I went back last year, December, or there up to 2019.
Right. So give me a picture of what you left there when you went back, what you saw, so that I can get a perspective of, because anytime you come from outside, you have a fresh, new perspective. How was Liberia then? How is Liberia now when you went back?
Yeah, when I was in Liberia, like from 2005, because when 2005 came, we have a new government came in power by led by Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former president of the Republic of Liberia. What I saw people were tested, people were yearning for education. I saw the country moving forward. Like everybody was striving. Now, when I get to school and graduate, I'm hopeful of getting a job. I'm hopeful of getting a scholarship to learn and come back. But what I saw from 2016 up to the ending of the United Party-led government, which is Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, more people are like, for example, they brought the teacher scholarship, more teachers were going to school, their salary went up, the police salary went up, those that went to the University of Liberia graduated, they went to the University of Liberia. For us that were not in university, everybody wanted to get tertiary education that, oh, when I'm qualified, when I get my education, I have a share in the national cake. And we were so good. We saw more female graduating from the University of Liberia. We saw more female in the national police, in the army, and things were beginning to move gradually. They are left. Despite all were not rosy in Liberia, but there was a hope that if I go to school or if I go to a vocational education, I will get a job, I will get XYZ, and things will be better. My family will live a better life. So all these were in place. It was not 100%, don't get me wrong, they are left the country. So in 2018, December, I was in Liberia. But when I got in the country, I saw a different picture. Before I could get there, people started complaining. When you ask them what's going on, oh, it's not easy. And what the establishment I knew they were telling you guys to wait. And most of the young guys are left back home. Most of the young guys are left back home after 3 years. When I saw that physical well-being, they didn't have to tell you that, oh, Liberia is tough. You could tell from the body posture, that physical morphology, all these things then was deteriorating. And most of the community that were in almost like 18 years when I came back, all the zinc shock then that was a little bit better, everything is deteriorating. And I told the city at that time, I don't know, it's better now. The devil engulfed the whole city. I said, but when I passed through Douala Way, like all over die. And and most of the young people, when I went in the community to talk to them, first of all, they started giving me praise. Oh, you bite, we can make you honorable man. I said, but I did not come in Liberia to be a honorable man. I get keen to see you guys. We can share together. I said, when you come around me, don't come and praise me. Oh, you can run for the district. I said, no. And the situation in Liberia begins so polarized that you will see a young man, for example, he's not even gone to even 6th grade, but he discussed government. And that one of the worst ever thing that happened to our country, that our political establishment, the United Party led government, the Taylor government, and right now the current government in place, they are not able to detach the young people from government. That people will grow up. They say, oh, my job is last in government. When I become big person, I become a representative. Is a job. When I become minister, when I become representative or a senator, there where the job is last, where I will go there and get work, my family live a better life. So I started talking to the young. It was a huge challenge. If they come around you, first of all, to get what they can get for you and get go, to see what they can get for that day. And when you see a country running on the pillow, I said, wow, what's really going on? So I decided to drive around. When I was driving around the city, while leaving Liberia, there was a traffic light, and I came in the country, I got used to traffic light. There was no traffic light in the city. The people were gone. Broad Street, all the places were gone. And as a developing city, these are the components that you can see in the city, that the city having prospered. But all the things is going on in Liberia.
So Prince.
Yeah.
What do you think was responsible for all those kind of changes?
Yeah, what is responsible for this kind of teacher? I think there's those that were coming in power. They were not looking at the challenges that were ahead of them. That man was 100% concentrated on getting the political power, that you will engulf everything, you will take over everything, and we can make things to run fast as it is. And when you take in political power, you should look at where you beginning from and the challenges that are in front of you, to work on it, to get on a slow pacing. But when you get on a very fast pacing, it's so that it brings heat to the government and the growth of the government. And when I left the US rate, it was around like $100, but when I get by that time, it was 115. So things that I used to buy like $20, $25, oh, everything was skyrocketing. Like I put like 10,000, 15, 20,000 in my pocket. By the end of the day, everything will go away. So all these challenges, our people were complaining, the young people complaining. And I start asking them what their people are doing for you. All these people that just singing songs and praises to them, what they are doing, what mechanism they are putting into place. And one of the things I figured out that the government need to look at the young people and put them in various categories. Some people, since they were born, they are not been to school. They are youth. Some people went to school, they dropped. Some people went in high school, they dropped. Some people get in college, they dropped. So you got to put these people into various categories and start a design a model that, okay, for example, you go to NBDC, you say, I have a couple of guys there, educationally, they can't go and sit in the class and score the grade in the class. But let's focus on them that they can do things more as a practical. In 6 months time, you get a group that will be very fine for them, that they can get starting from them. But if you say
we'll get more to that.
Yeah.
To Alex. Alex, you talk to young people. You even went around the country, and you say there are 2 more counties that you have not touched. I hope Sino County is not one of them.
We're done with Sino. We're gonna left with Bomi.
If you don't go to Sino, the program ends right here.
We left with the Bomi, Bapolo, and Grand Cape County to complete the country.
So going around the country, what do you see, especially from the side of the young people?
Look, Dennis, I'll be frank with you. I'm not going to look at the trivial thing. For me, I think somebody making salary, buying car, that's trivial things. There is one word that the economy will always use: exogenous factor. Exogenous factor. And this word has been used over time. And government upon government are not consistent. And I see that word was spoken during the early government, it was even spoken during third time. And it means that the major commodity that we survive by as a nation, we talk about iron ore, talk about rubber, talk about timber. Liberia has always survived. Their economy has always been survived on that. Why we keep speaking this English? Exogenous factors. The reason why things prices are going skyrocketing. The reason why economy is getting hard because the things that we survive by, the rubber, the iron ore, is trapped on the world market. Why as a nation we keep speaking this one English? Why can't we change our mentality? What's happening right in Rwanda right here? Eh? Is the guy over there? Is he an ape? Is he from a different planet?
No.
Are we not thinking? There is a huge sector in this country that people are not even thinking about. You know, let's when Amara Conan then took over, I was listening to him when he had an appearance at the doing his confirmation. He said something, and I wished that he would have implemented that. He said 100% of the funding that goes towards ministry used to buy furnitures for government offices. You want to make sure as finance minister 25% of that money goes towards the local furniture. People fix furniture. 25%. Do you understand what 25% of that amount? Do you know what it would do for the local people who producing furniture? Well, come on, just to think of it, that when it comes to taxes in this country, there are two groups of people that pay taxes. The first group are the multilateral companies. They pay taxes regularly. And then the poor people pay taxes regularly. You go in government, the ministers, the directors, and all these people, they got waiver. But who's supposed to be paying taxes more than that, friend? That the poor people? So, okay, let's say that the poor people are supposed to be paying taxes. Can you think to empower them? Like what the policy that Amara was talking about, that was going to be a brilliant policy to empower those people. In the next 6 months, those people, if the government get 25% compulsory, become a policy, 25% of the money. Do you know how many furniture we got in our government ministry? Get Chinese people, they think they're all over there. We just keep sending our money outside to buy Chinese furniture. Have you ever thought as a government? That's why I say I'm not going to talk about the trivial thing. I'm talking about the issues that will affect this country. The reason why we are poor, the reason why the fellow in America is talking about him came and he saw all these places, they put complaint because we still rely on the exogenous aspects. We still rely on cocoa, iron ore, those things. And we should not be singing that song at this time. As a nation, we should not. Second thing, 62% of the population are young people.
Alex, before you go to that, you use that big word exogenous aspect. What does it mean? Does it mean that we depend on those things then that can finish?
Yes, the things that we surviving on, like the iron ore, like the rubber, like the timber, are the things we surviving on. And when exogenous, it means that the prices can drop. It goes on the world market, it drops. Iron ore prices can drop. So as it drop over there, it affects the economy of our country. Okay. So the price that is bought at that level, if it used to be higher at the time during early time and during President George Weah, it dropped, it will affect us here as a nation. So should we keep thinking that as a nation, as a country, we'll keep relying only on iron ore, rubber that is always in this thing that is always dropping and fluctuating? Can we think outside the box? Can we change the paradigm as a nation? The second thing I was going to really cut me off was the fact that I was saying 62% of our population are young people. When was the last time you ever heard any government in this country had a conference and brought all these innovators together? Kigali is surviving on innovation. The last time I checked, they just produce smartphone. Do you think that Liberians don't do that? You think that the old people there where somebody got that degree with somebody haven't written any book? You really think that they didn't want to solve Liberia problem? You got 62% of the population that are languaging. great energy, great innovation, great enthusiasm. You don't call them on the table. You call for economic dialogue the last time over there. You got all these people say they got doctorate degree, blah, 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 sit over there. What did they do? What did they do? I'm yesterday, just gone on Saturday, I had an opportunity to be at one program. I was taught. I didn't even know about that. One little picking, I think he's 23 or 24 years old. He only one company called Those Liberia. He had a training for his officers, his group of officers that I had an opportunity. I learned a lot of things I didn't learn. These are young people who got so much innovation. Have you ever thought about calling these people and leveraging the people who constitute and say, look, you'll sit down here. You'll sit down in the place here for 3 days. Give us idea how we can move the economy forward. Bring the brilliant idea. Have you thought about that? You think we'll be surviving all the time as a nation that, you go America and say, America gets $2 billion now for, in our economy. Then they say all that where people behind it, they can't yet, then they can't tell the money go. They say you go China, you go Dubai. Are you kidding me, man? I'm talking this thing from my heart. Because that's what government should do. Government go. If we are least from there today, there's a group of people that come, they will stay speak that same book, exogenous factor. So if you keep speaking in one book over time, can you change that? Can you change that? Can you look at your economy? Can you look at the things you have here to make use of it? Use the young people, bring them down, bring your innovation, set them down, open a whole hub, let the young people bring some brilliant ideas. Who thinks like bring and produce cell phone? Who thinks we can produce cell phone? Who thinks we can produce different things that are happening around the world? We can do the same thing. We can do it right here. We need a space. They're not giving us the space. They think that when they grab the old people and set them down and say they got that degree, they will solve the problem of this country. They're not going to do it. Hell no.
Wait now.
Hell no.
So are old too. I mean, you're talking,
all these people who say they got that degree, they're not even read one book. You said.
Yeah. All right, Alex.
Yeah.
Brilliant point. Brilliant point. Oh, hold on, Prince. You're saying that instead of thinking about iron ore and all these things, cocoa, what are you saying we as a country should be concentrating on? Alex.
This rank Liberia 10 destination in the world. They put Liberia up there. They've told the tourists in the world that, you know what, 10 countries that are best for you to go do tourism. Liberia is there. What this government is doing about it? You got the Ministry of you got Ministry of Information. You got tourism over there. Only politics they do. What they get top politics, red all kind of crap they put on Facebook. That's what they do. And you got a whole sector that should be detached from politics and get involved in the technical work to attract investors in this country. And they're not thinking about it. And they will still go and still be speaking the same big book of the exogenous factor. The BBC have told the world that when it comes to tourism, Liberia is amongst the 10 best country. Are we thinking about that?
And when it comes to
are we thinking about that as a nation? No. We're not thinking about that.
Yeah.
The second thing, we had agriculture. Agriculture, yeah. As a nation, how will be importing all the time now, my people? We can eat rice in the country like something. We can eat rice. The other government that left, they not do much in the agriculture sector. We have a new one a year now. They're not interacting much in the agriculture sector. We eating rice every day. Are you going to say that on the talk about the other place will take it? They got innovation. Give them the opportunity and stop. This thing hasn't helped us. We talk in this country too much.
Right.
Every day we talk. We just can't really talk. And everybody think that they know governance.
Yes.
Everybody think they know the right thing they're talking. And they leave the small things like this guy, what his name is, one of the musicians from Nigeria. They call him techno. I listen to his songs. The man saying one of his songs, forget about the BB thing. Talk about the small thing first.
Yeah.
The small thing. People, be the BB thing. Be the one win out make Liberia miracle. You can make Liberia miracle.
No, it's not possible.
Just show them more.
Thank you, Alex. Let me read two comments before I come to you, Prince. Aliu V. Samba said the first thing Liberia needs is manpower development in the areas of technology, engineering, and science in general. They also need to focus heavily on vocational training for you. Dave just said it is the system that has to change. That has nothing to do with the ageism, big people. Smart ideas can come from many people regardless of age, brother. So Prince, you say when you were in Liberia, oh, you want to respond to that, Alex, before I go to Prince?
I mean, I just think that, I like to just a little bit disagree with the last comment about ages and stuff. Look, the energy, the world has advanced. The things we did, the things our forefather, did at that time. Most of the thing is that our people not conforming. We don't conform to reality. We don't conform to new things. That's Liberian weakness.
Right.
I mean, the old people, that's our weakness. So
No, that what Dave was saying, that it is not really about their age. Even in the Bible says the young people shall the old shall dream, and the young people have vision.
Yeah.
So 92 or you are 2, when you are having dream, you old. When you having vision, you young. So regardless of the age, if the system, supports innovation, the idea can even come from old man as old as 90. But
so you see the problem. So you see the problem. Yeah, that's why I related it to they just ended dialogue, economic dialogue. In our mind, in this country, we believe that the people who get the best idea are the older people. That's what we believe. I mean, so when they said,
let me go to Prince. Prince,
yeah.
When back in the country, people in 6th grade talking about government.
Yeah. I will come to that one by in the country. You see, I listen to Brother Devine. You see, I don't want for all to denigrate the young people, the older people. I think we, the young people in Liberia, we are not found our role. And the day we find our role in Liberia, there will be a changes. You see, right now in the whole world, that 3 things now driving the whole economy. Like from one is technology, to agriculture and oil. Let's deal with technology and agriculture. For now, I put agriculture or Liberia, later technology. And we being a hub that will look for the best brain in science and mathematics that will bring them together to start building a technology hub for the country. Where are the guys that know the mathematics, that any equation you bring, they know it. Anything you bring, they know it. Where are the guys there? So we can need to look and go to agriculture. If you leave from Moria to Maryland, from Moria to Lofa, from Moria to Nima, our population alone can live in Monserrado County. If we lay up Monserrado and structure it, we want the 3.5 million or 4 million people can live right in Monserrado. The vast will be so land. I will listen to the government budget on agriculture. If you put the best idea together, you see, one of the things the government do to deceive our citizens is that they will bring all these conferences, like the economic conference. They will make more proposal, less implementation. I think they will also be making more implementation than less proposal. You bring all the guys together, what can we do? Everybody right now in Liberia is talking about agriculture. What is the government budget in agriculture? And Mr. Jar and Devine, I can get you in 2 years or in 8 months time, if the government decide to do mechanized farming and bring the best agriculturalists, some guys then they are not going far and open a big farm. You got a full hub, one in Lofa, one in Nima, one in the southeast, and one in the west, which is Bapolu and that area. You invest in that sector. Yes. Yeah.
Why is it that anytime we are discussing Liberia, we talk about government?
Why we talk about government? Because our founding father. I don't know. I will not know in the 80s. I don't know how it was looking in the 80s or the 70s and the 60s, going down and coming. When I open my eye, everybody, government begin to open on. Everybody focus their attention on government, right. And the young people, I don't know our in our situation. The young people are forgot about their well-being and focus so much on government, and government are not able to take the young people from government. For example, everybody want to depend on government. Granted, you got to depend on government because the government for our country, the government is the China. But those that that are leading the government, are heading the government, need to be definite and the young people and divert their mind from government and put them in the vocational education, agriculture, education. Because at the age of six, you about 20 years old in sixth grade, when you get on in the community, we're talking like this economy is this, and you don't able to find a way forward. Everybody feel that they know government, they can work in government.
Right. So and Alex, I want you to come in on this too. So whose fault it is if I'm in sixth grade and all I talk is government? You go on LU campus, you want to even open a discussion on chemistry or science, math, and technology.
No,
that Palava Hall will be empty.
Empty.
Right now, if I'm doing a show that is educating, nobody is here.
Nobody.
But when you are doing something on politics or you causing someone or some drama, the place is packed. So who's responsible?
Let me get
hold on. Are we not the ones who are enabling the politicians to be law and gospel over our lives?
No, let me get coming before Brother Ellis coming. You see, you know why the fighter for that, Brother Jah? It was the 1990 crisis, because when the war came, like those that were okay, the war lasted for let's say 16 years or 15 years. Look at all the young people in Liberia. Minus 15 years for everybody age or ages. You know that age. When they walking in Liberia, when they walking under the brutal civil war, I'll open the war. Former President Taylor, where he came with flamboyant lifestyle. Now you don't need to work for anything, but you can find your way to the barrel of a gun. You will get your property. You will be SOD. You will be this, that, and you will move forward. So young people started. In fact, when the young people started fighting, the guys that the back of Mafia, the 2.9 people, all the guys, they are the cause today of our problem. So everybody focused on what Taylor. When Taylor left from the whole political atmosphere, we look around, we don't trust no politician. Ellie Kimi, yes, she was fortunate to get in, she went to hire. We focused on the young people driven leader, who is the President we are. And President we are coming in power. The main focus was to be on the young people, because the war has created a big gap. Young people don't know what they go. You go to school and get a degree. And only young people know that. Look at all the guys that are on the street, how they can get it, because all I want to say, government is the way forward. Yeah. And they may not be wrong, because that is that are obstructed the government. So what you can do to distort them, where we lacking, or anyone trying, but later on, she not did it. This government need to take the guys their mind from government. Totally, right. Because if we can distort our mind from government, the problem in Liberia will get more to go. I'll rest for now.
Because Alice, I want you to answer that same question. And on top of that, it is the young people that are making the decision, that are making the direction of the country. They, as you said, 62%. So they are electing the leaders.
I agree. No argument by that.
Your thought on that, Alex?
Yeah, it's my thought. And I'm going to take it from a different angle as well. The Bible says, train up a child in a way that they will go, go. And when they are old, do not depart from it. That scripture also can relate to when Karl Marx that human we were born as a blank sheet, and we learn from the things we see around us. So I'm going to premise it on that. Liberia has been a country of politics. I mean, that's how, when we grew up, just like a Liberian, a man or woman who are Liberian, left from here, went to China, and probably had a kid, and that kid grew up and heard them speaking Chinese. That child was how to speak Chinese. It does not in any way mean that person is not Liberian, but that's what they heard our parents speaking. We grew up as young people. We saw that our country is a political country. from the University of Liberia, the microcosm of the larger society, you know. And that word means a small place you see the whole country. The small place you see the whole country, it always been entrenched with politics. If you go on that campus, if you're not involved in the politics, that means you're not just one of the young men I'll be talking, so maybe just from class and you have, you know. But that's how the society has been structured. So now we have that problem to know that when people step in and see politics as a way forward, and politics has been paying them off, by the way. It's not just the politics, not just about politics, but at the end of the day, when young people take telephone consistently and call on talk show and probably criticize government continuously, that person is rewarded with a job. That is another thing that of course the problem we have. So I believe, like I was making a point and I was talking about, I look forward to a government that we know that these young people who have this huge, they're 60%. I look forward to seeing as to how a government will come in and smartly utilize their energy, their skills, and their innovation. And that can only begin with engagement. Engagement, having conversation with them. All these young people, one way or the other, they are guided by leaders that have influenced them. Like me now, across this country, I've some way influenced more than 5,000 young people across this country. So imagine that I am called to the table. I'll be speaking on behalf of 5,000 young people who have listened to, they've spoken to me. Imagine they call one of the girls who's doing an amazing job here, Patience Tamia, for instance, Tamia, Cotius Tamia, rather, they call to talk. She'll be speaking for most of the young people too as well. They call somebody like Elvis, for instance, who come from an entrepreneurial background. He will speak for a lot of them. The ones who are on the street that we call our Rex youth, they got leaders. They know exactly what they want. You see the problem when I keep talking about making the emphasis, as I was saying, that these people who probably, you know, I don't have problem because I myself, I'm a candidate, master candidate, right? But I don't have problem with that, right? But many of these people they're not in touch with the actual people. And when they're not in touch with the actual people, their policy can be flawed. Policy should affect the people. The policy can be backed with information. A lot of people are making policy. Do you know that people making policy based on copy and paste on the 21st century for Liberia? People writing policy document for Liberia and copying and pasting. They're not contextualizing the issues. It's okay. So you see a system working in the US there. For instance, Prince, the guy who's on the air, he was talking right now and mentioned about the light in America as well as he is not seeing it working yet. Okay, there's a system over there. Can we think? Can we say, yeah, you know, it's good to have light here, but what is the system can we employ? Can we look for something that our people understand? Because of course, right now in this country, we still have an issue. People can be green lights on, people walking. I mean, red lights on, people road. You know, even when during the early time when they're putting the stuff, there was not much awareness done. So a lot of people don't even know the importance of red light or green light or all that kind of thing. But this is our society. So I think that yes, I agree. 62% of the people who are electing these people in offices are young people. That's truth. Can they think better? Yes. How can they think better? By engaging their leaders, by getting them sit on the table, by listening to them, by utilizing their energy, their innovation, their skills. I cannot disagree with even the guy on the air. I'm forgetting his name. What's his name? Prince. Prince mentioned about innovation. He mentioned about technology in this country. I have encountered young people who are very smart, who can navigate social media, who can navigate internet, who can navigate all these things. How are we using it? Can you imagine that we're still here today? We have Ghanaians who are controlling our them at the executive mansion. Are you kidding me, man? Should we have that?
So Alex,
should we?
What you are talking about is how do we do that shift? Okay, because if I want the young people to listen to me, because it looked like what you are proposing should be something, a revolution that starts from the bottom.
It got to stop. It got to stop from the bottom.
How can you champion a cause that people will believe and listen to you? So that if I'm promoting the idea of science and tech, I'm competing with a politician who wants them for vote, and so he doesn't want to see them, their eyes open, want them to vote for him, right? So there is a fight between the people who, like you, who want to shape their thinking, and the politician who want to keep them blind so they will continue to be loyal to them.
I agree.
How do you fight that?
Okay, so last week, Friday, there is currently a debate ongoing. It's been sponsored by UNDP and is operated by NIMUT, one organization here, my sister organization. The guy who got it is a big brother to me, Eddie. He's a very good friend of mine. So UNDP decided they want to have a policy debate. They came up with different policy discussion. And in their mind, the best group of people to discuss it are university students. So they developed a debate for university students alone. Amazingly, the judges who sit at the panel are some of the people who, we've been using over time here with our local high school debate. And the same structure they're using is the template we introduced, by the way, in Liberia. So the judges now sat on the table and listened to university students debating, hoping that they will hear something more, bigger, better, positive. Unfortunately, sadly, the judges, when they go to make the announcement, they say, I think you guys got to go back to go to high school debate. Because there is a standard we set. And most of the young people who are debating right now came from the university. So you can easily detect that this person playing high school debate, the person did not play high school debate. Biola, namely, is the captain for Connington University. Connington is now going to the final. One of our students who is leading UMU University is calling Uranzo. He's the captain. So it's UMU now versus Connington. It's Youth for Change products going to go against each other at the final. But how come all the other universities did not go to the final? How can they drop? You know what? The foundation needs to be prepared. So I agree. Politicians are more like want to have the young people keep being in our bondage, so they keep using them. But I can propose one thing. Look, if the president now, I'd like to recommend to him on his platform, I need to open a national youth conference. Get the youth leaders from these youth organizations. Don't leave it one youth organization and say, go recruit other people, because I know how they can behave in this country. They might not go recruit other people. Search for them and bring them to the table. Listen to them, just as you listen to the national conference. What can we do to help this country? Bring your innovation, propose ideas, and they should be the driver of those ideas. In 2 years' time, see this country how it's going to be. See this country. And I will propose that even the Alexander Cummings, all these people who are parading, who wants to be, these are the people who you should focus on. And they will help you to even make you be a successful leader, because they got all the ideas. You don't have the ideas. If people read 24/7 on the internet, they follow informations. You don't have the time to do that. They have the energy, they have the zest, they have the skill to do that. Set them on the table. Utilize that skill. It's for your own good. It's for the good of the country.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us and you want to take part in the conversation, call our phone line 605-313-6. The code 791-703 is also posted on Facebook, so you can join the conversation.
Yeah, Mr. Jad. Let me get coming. What our brother talk about the national conference on the future of Liberia that will have more youth participation. You see, the youth in the country are divided. Like you take somebody from the AMC as a brilliant young person from the United Party, from other political party. First of all, you see that news coming up, the post, oh, if we get a chance, they want to take over the country. And we that suffer politics for a very long time, it's our time. And these are the factors that carry the country behind. Can you imagine? Let me get you show if Liberian really wants the country to develop. Go on the social media. Let us say today is Henry Costa's birthday.
Can I inject?
Let me get them. Okay, you can inject.
I just want to inject on a point that you mentioned of the divisiveness among the young people.
Yeah.
And I think I'd like to rule that out. The reason why I want to rule that out, because that's the way the politician thinks. They think like that. If we think like that as young people, we're not going nowhere. The thing about it is that if they develop the conference, there are action points. The action points are void of politics. The action points are based on the generality of how we move this country forward. It is not about who comes from what party. It's about the energy and the skills that we need.
Mr. Devine, you don't lead a fighter up. Quickly, what I'm saying, that today they say today is Henry Costa birthday, today is Sekou Carrasco, or today is Akara great birthday, today is Muhammad Ali. All the people that insult each other on Facebook, they will give birthday greeting to these guys then. But when it comes to togetherness on the political line, there where we can come at that equal level to move the country forward. You see, when you crafting a policy on a national conference on the future of the country for you people, void all the politics. Look for people with expert opinion and quality that will bring the young people together. And anything that will be discussed on the panel should be put into policy that the young people will work on. But you call a conference, you use $1,000. At the end of the day, they take it to the president or they take it to the stakeholder to say, oh, the need that we are seeing, they are not from our establishment. So if we let them to come into the infiltration system, we will lose election. And it's very bad for our country. The leader then should be sincere. For example, the CDC are coming.
Hold on, Alex, because I want us to move on to something else. So
let me learn. For the CDC government, they are 100%. They are 85% driven by young people, and then young people, if their life cannot be changed, the leadership of the CDC will be led by the president. For me, in my opinion, and history will judge them. They'll be held responsible. You know why? Because most of the young people, they believe in Akara Gray, they believe in Jefferson Kochi, they believe in the president. We have now a youth, but quote unquote, most of the hierarchy they are youth, and they go in other countries. They see how things looking, and they can bring out a policy that will help the young people to move them forward.
Prince,
yeah.
Do you think that phenomena or that idea started with the CDC government?
It started with the former ruling party, but they are not sincere. And we don't get. You see, in youth politics, baby, you gotta be sincere. If I make mistake, I was there for 10 years. I make a mistake. When you come back, oh, what a mistake that the SYC did. Let me leave the mistake and move and upgrade and get it done.
Hold on. So what I wanted to get at is during President Tubbo, you have YUPTA, Youth for the Promotion of the Tubbo Administration.
Yeah.
During President Doe, we have YUPDA, Youth for the Promotion of the Doe Administration, and on and on and on and on. So
yeah, you tell us how the city count down, tell us of this.
Yeah.
All the things,
so and politics has not changed much. Let me get your opinion, Alex, and then we can move on to my next question.
Yeah. Look, we need to just get rid of this whole political thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I still see it's good that maybe having a conversation with Boykai, right, on his platform. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly some of the analysis I'm getting from Boykai is how many of these people in this country thinks. And it cannot be like that.
It cannot be like that.
We're discussing policy that we propose and present to the government. We are discussing that the government call a youth conference to help them solve their problem they're faced with. We're not discussing who name is on what document. We're discussing giving you a way forward, a roadmap of what we young people think that this is the way to run this country if you succeed.
Alex, you are very influential, okay? Why is it that the government should organize that youth conference? Why can't you or any of the organization go ahead and have a conference and produce documents that even if nobody listens to you, you can publish or you can disseminate?
Okay, so you're right on that. But again, when it comes to developing a national roadmap, the one organization that we have to drive that, if it is not government, which of course automatically state government, by the way, will be FLY, because they are the federation of all of the youth in this country. We force directly with them. The difference between Fly and Linsu and most of us is that we are enacted, we have active incorporation, and Fly and Linsu are the two organizations that are enacted in law. So they have the legal right to these kinds of national stuff.
No, let me get in jail. I don't think you're talking about legality. I don't think you're talking about illegality. I think he's talking about, let me get in jail a little bit in 1 minute. He's talking about crafting your paper, present it to the national government, even if they don't listen to you, publish it, go on with it. This is what we are doing. This is what can help the country. Now, what are you talking about?
We're still going a political route. It doesn't make no sense that somebody went and did a policy and we're going to go on radio station and go talk about it. That's a political route. You want to make yourself known. You want to make yourself popular. We're not discussing that. We're discussing the thing at a national level. You're talking young people of this country. The one institution that has that authority in this country, it is Fly. Fly is the institution that has that right to call all the young people, some other young people. If Fly is presenting a policy document to the government, it is more weighted. It has more weight than any for you for change to go do that. Of course, you for change is across the country. Of course, we can start to do that small little conversation, but the weight as compared to Fly.
All the groups are politicized now.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They are all polarized politics.
Yeah,
that is why I suggested. John, that it is for me. Like if you follow my conversation, I try, because I am not a politician. I don't want to be, but I try to see, like I said, my Liberia is my country, and I believe in this country. I try to take it from that point. And I leave the trivial thing out and bring in recommendations as to how we can go as a nation. So I'm telling you now that for the general good of the country, it is just fair enough. You know, I mean, the government maybe may not be thinking about that. They thought about having a policy conference, a national, economic conference, which they thought it would help the problem. I'm saying that of the population that we have here, 62% are young people.
Right.
We have them to talk exclusively, to talk about their issues, to present recommendations.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, and I agree. But what I'm saying is, government, politicians, most of the time they're the same people. So in order to drive that change, even if nobody listens to you, my suggestion is go ahead and do something. But let me ask you this question.
Why?
Most of the time we hear about the Liberian school system being a mess from the previous government, from the mouth of our former president. We also see that even sometimes you see on Facebook what you get. Some time ago we saw a riot because teachers were not going to school, so the students took to the streets. You are in touch with the students. How are our schools, and you are doing debate, and I can see sometimes watch those debates, they are incredibly smart kids. So does that mean the picture we're getting about schools in Liberia is not true, or are the schools improving now? Are they doing bad? Where are you getting your students from that are doing so well?
The school system here remains challenged, very challenged. I have to say that for a fact. And just 2 weeks ago, I had an opportunity to be at Yourself, it's a youth organization, along with UC, had a conference, and that conference specifically to demand the government has signed onto an international instrument, demand the government to make sure that what we sign up to give 20% of our budget to the to education. Liberia government have not done that. We're at 13 under this government, has gone to 15 now, and so we're still struggling with that. So I asked a question to the Minister of Final Development Planning representation, the representative that came, and I asked him, I said, so when these people develop their, when they do their appropriation, these different line ministry and send it to you, what do you look at before you can approve? Because I know in this country, they've said that our budget, 75% goes toward recurring expense. That is the trash car, the gasoline, all that. What do you look at to approve? Because this thing here, from any time, we've been hearing that 75% of our budget go to recurring expense. Now, the education system is challenged. And the education system needs to at least give 20 wow to this all people there, and you say, you know what, to education. So now, teachers are not even going in classes. Like you talk about riot, teachers are not going in classes because teachers are not taking pay on time. But how will it happen? The national government, the national cake, that should be equitably distributed, or most likely a little bit equitably distributed, to be able to curtail some of the things are not happening. When you have the opportunity to go in the county, like I went in the counties, you don't want to see some of the learning environment as well. You don't even want to listen to the kids. It's a huge challenge over there. But again, can it get better? Yes. How? To make sure that you attract more teachers. How do you attract more teachers? Do you want to have housing, building different housing in the county that will attract teachers? Nobody want to get a doctorate degree, I mean, say that PhD, that master's or that BSc, and you tell them that they should go in the county to go and teach. What kind of patriotism is that in no housing? You're not giving a good allowance. They play tag number one, mosquito will be eating order. So you want to give them, you want to make it comfortable.
No
so all these things. So people talking about say, oh, you know, the education is a mess. They're not talking. Education is not talking. Education is action. Develop or derive the right policy. Put the money in there and see what the outcome will be. Some of us, the reason why we're doing what we're doing is because when I started this conversation, I premised my conversation that World Bank has just released a report just 3 weeks ago. Check it on Google. The campaign is called Ending Poverty in Learning. And what it meant, that country in sub-Saharan Africa, children between the age of 1 to 10 are not able to read simple storybook. Isn't that a problem for us in Africa? In Liberia, when I said in the sub-Saharan Africa country, can we do something about it? So as a young man, I believe in this country. I started to do research. What can we do to help this problem? We found out that debate as one discipline. I've got 3 solutions. Solution 1, it helps a kid to read properly. Solution number 2, it helps a kid to speak properly. The 3 is to listen properly. These are the tools that you need to be able to get out there. So if you even check us now, this year, besides the senior high and junior high that we are doing, and we're very intentional about it, by the way, to making sure that the product that we have at the university, they must be groomed, mentored properly before they get out of university. Because when you get out of university, a lot of them who get out of university believe they already know. They don't need to be told. They don't need to be told anything. So to not get to that point, let's teach them first, prepare that foundation before they get there. So the next thing that we also realized that from Robert report, that kids between the age of 1 to 10 are not able to read. Those age, they are in the elementary. So this year, we've developed another new program, having elementary debate. Why are we doing it? We're doing it to help this country. We're not talking. We're not a group of people that just sit there and just talk. We believe in action. Right. That's why when you follow my writing on Facebook, I always say that evidential change. The change must be evidential, must be traceable. Today, you have the John Sigmund in Morocco. You interview him right here. Where did he come from? 2017, he was just a little boy in high school. He was mentored by Youth for Change. He was groomed by Youth for Change. He's now over at Sata Sharif. The whole world is celebrating. Where did she come from? Youth for Change, mentor, groomed. She's a national leader. She's in Ohio now going to school. Another one is in China. Another one in Morocco, Yuben Wosoto, Biola Nimini. These are exceptional students. But they say they just get out to be smart. No. They went through our mentorship program. And that's what we're trying to do.
One more question before I go to Prince. Every day we hear the country is hard, and parents, because of harmonization, people's salary being cut, parents cannot afford. You just heard, I think, about 300 people have been laid off at the CBL because they came through the back door. So with all these challenges, economic hardship, what are you seeing from the students? Are they dropping out of school because there's no school fees, or because they can't afford to eat and go to school? So when around the country interacting with the young people, the students especially, what are you hearing on that front?
First of all, hunger gives bad output. You do education research. Hunger, for somebody to be hungry and steady, forget it, you're not there. Hunger alone gives bad output. So the challenge remains that when parents are not taking pay on time, and now you have to feed their children, you don't expect for them to get good output. So it's a reality here right now, because we have the issue of economic, the economy is bad. There's no argument about that. You know, there's no politics in that one. And that's what I started. I also mentioned in my presentation, we cannot be a country and be depending on iron ore, rubber, and timber, exotic, they can drop it. They're dropping now. So why you keep surviving on it? Why? Okay, so the second thing you get money from again is donor. Donor, you know there's a word called donor fatigue. There's no word in that dictionary called donor fatigue. They're not in our head. That will be living as a country as old as we are, and we continue to live on donor. The people tired of all now.
Tired.
So what you expect the people? What you expect the country to get money? You're too reliant. Donor to give money and iron ore. Those two things are not working. So can you change your method? You are here, it can change. You just be on politics. And then at the end of the day, somebody talk. You see the backlash now. The backlash is the government does not have money. So the government, people are not taking pay on time. Because the government is not exploring all the avenue. That one not politics beneath that one there. The government needs to start exploring all the avenue.
So Prince,
Yeah.
you were in Liberia and you went back. You know, when you come out of even a room, when you're in the room, sometimes you stay long, you can't even realize that the place is dark.
Yeah.
But when you come from out, you go there, you see all the things that are not working. When you were there, you were part of or you were very much strong on the Unity Party government that you were part of. So coming out of there, looking back now and seeing what you think are the issue when it comes to the way government relate to the people and vice versa. That you think now you are away, that you say, okay, when I go back now, if I have to change these things, these are the things I'm going to change because this is what I can see differently now.
You see, one of the things the government that just came in power, they came in power with high level of confidence and hope to the young people that your better confidence in us will make your life better. If you used to walk from your Broad Street, you'll be taking taxi. If you used to, like I listened to one other lady, lady during the campaign, school fee will drop. This one will happen. And when you give the people that type of hope, coming in power, and the former president said that our economy is having a huge challenge, but the political party that came in power, they were not taking the factor into consideration. So when they give the people a lot of hope and you get there, you get in government. You see, when you're in government, it's different. When you get there, all the policies, what you do to entangle, you start looking at it, you got to pay civil service, you got to go lobby around. When you see all these challenges coming in, then the young people and the other people start saying, what? I think it was better for us to live with the devil that we know. And the government that in power, let me tell you the truth. The people that voted this government power, they really love the government. But they begin to regret. For example,
Prince, you're a young man and you were in Liberia.
Yeah.
You saw that you were part of that same group that were, behind the politician that were, you look at things based on your perspective there. Now, 3 years later, you came out of there. What are you seeing differently? Do you still, the same thing you believe when you were in Liberia, do you still believe the same thing on how government should work?
No, first of all, like when I'm in Liberia, we create a method that will create a politician there that's a demagogue. That without them, they pull up in a bondage that without them we can't survive. That you want anything you want, you gotta go ask them. So when our mind is built out of a concept that when I left from Liberia, came on this side, working for my own money in less than 1 year time, I was able to own a car, doing extra, sending money for my people. And I start putting myself on the policy. So I said, that's the type of life I was living in Liberia before. And the greatest thing to do as a young man is to go around the bag. It's humiliating that you will come to a minister, you sit down to your office for more than 2-3 hours, you kind of, oh, gentlemen, I'm busy, look out, 4-5 they give you $50. And when you get like $50, $20, you're so excited. So when I graduated from that stage, I look at it, say, wow, that's where my brother and my sister are going back in home. That's what they're facing. And as a sincere government, you come in power. You know very well that political office is not for you alone. Try to establish an institution that will help the young people. Because those are the young people. You see, every country that have that downfall today, that the young people. You see, in China today, in Hong Kong, the young people are demonstrating. But in Liberia, our system is so unique that for you to see the young people on the street, they always bear with a patient with our government. So when I saw the young people, when I saw myself, there was a difference between us. So that I began. Now, when I went back home, one of the things I did, I said, I was walking in the street with my slipper on my foot, walking all around the community. So one young guy came to me and said, "Man, why you keep for America? You bring yourself down so low." I started laughing. I said, because now this is here for me to prove myself that I have. I want to be like the people so they can know that that's why in America I am still part of them. So if the government want to improve the young people's life, let the put policy, like Mr. Devine was saying, you got to put policy and be clear to that, but void other politics, void other ethnicity, void other who know you.
So,
because,
Prince,
yeah.
What is your advice to the youth now in Liberia?
But you see, if the young people will get listening with what we can come on the social media and tell them, one, the young people should create themselves that they should know themselves. Let the young people first of all know that yes, I didn't want to make XYZ to be who he is today. So we need the young people need to demand our leaders. And one of the things I like in Liberia, the young people are not demanding our leaders. So if you can't demand a leader, your leader would ride you like a horse. So I want for every young people to demand a leader to know what they want. Because first of all, if you don't demand your leader will not know your value. Like everybody they go to a honorable man house, they ask him for $500 labor, $200. What it will do for you? Demand your leader and tell your leader, say, look, we need to go to school. For me, I can't go to college, I can't go to nursing. Send me to a vocational education that I want to learn something that tomorrow I can be somebody for myself. Like for example, I told one honorable man, say the young people right now, can you send them to Bubble Human Construction Command to learn how to face black? Look for 20 young men or 15 young men for your district. Send them at the one construction, teach them how to do welding, black. This and that. Then you go on the highway like Kakata or Bombay Highway, open a big black factory there and tell them, say, look, we'll start with a black factory. Anybody that you face a black, everybody can get their commission, this and that. You make them to get established number one black factory. Tell government before you do anything, you please come to my black factory and buy for the young people. Oh, before you do anything, that young people, they are well, they are not able to go to formal education, but they learn a vocational education, they can feed their family. Then those that are able to go to school, make sure you check on them to go to school. For example, for example, in our community, in the various community in Liberia, in Moria, you have the proliferation of high school or kindergarten. Any churches that come out today, they get that little school, and they are not monitoring them. And to conclude, if you get your child in Liberia, and your child reaches 6th grade, your child don't know how to read and write, the parents are held responsible, not the government. You know why? Because you, the parent, despite the condition in Liberia, despite the challenges, make sure you check your child homework, what they learn in school, and check on them. Because education don't deceive anybody. You'll be deceiving yourself, you do it. If you say, oh, I get a master's degree, tomorrow you'll go take a test. You got to represent yourself as a master. When you say 6th grade student, represent yourself as a 6th grade student, an ABC student, to learn to represent yourself as an ABC student. You can't graduate college or high school, you're not able to write a 15 letter. Because it started from the foundation, the parents should be checking on their children, what they're doing and what they're not doing in kindergarten or in grade school. That's why the child, now that government will check on your child, how they going to school. They have responsibility.
That's a fair point. Alex, what are you doing as a young man in Liberia differently? You know, I had the privilege to talk to a few young people, And I asked one of them, say, I like your passion, you're very smart. But what if what you are doing now, and he's one of the, he's working with one of the political parties, and he's on fire, and you can tell he's smart, but you can still tell that there's little more that he needs to learn. Okay, so what, and you a young person in Liberia as well, what makes you different? And why are you not acting like the rest or many of the other people too much involved in politics, following, and we have a new name in Liberia now, political leaders. That's another way. We used to have party chairman and then the standard bearer. But now you have a political leader, which is another name for how do you call it? Lifetime standard bearer.
Yeah.
What is it? What's about you that is different, and what is it that you are doing differently to go into a different direction?
Well, for me, I'm guided by philosophies. I think that's the main reason why I'm different. My life is guided by philosophies, and those are the things that keep pushing me to do what I do. And I'll just share at least about two of it with you. One of the philosophies that I'm guided by, it says that when you have something to offer your generation, the world stop to listen. When you have something to offer your generation, the world stops to listen. So it means that if I want for people to respect me, it's for me to do things that will attract respect, because respect cannot be demanded; it's earned. So that's one of the things. That's one of the things that get me different. And some of the things that you see me doing, I'm doing it because why? The world have heard about me, but the little things I do, you got to know me from the debate and stuff I do. So you see, you're part of the world that have listened to the things we're doing. The second thing also that keep pushing me also, I believe in different definition of education. I believe education without its application is no education. It's not possible for me to have a master's in public health, and I live in a community, and that community is challenged hugely with dirt. It's causing malaria. People are dying from malaria, typhoid, and I got a master in public health, and I live in that community, and my education cannot be applicable to solving the problem right in my backyard. And I get up in the morning and take radio and go on radio station and talk about the things what government can do, what they can do, when I myself should be solving the problem right in my backyard. So I believe in that as one of my philosophy as well. So these are the two things that separate me. These are the two, and I feel that two of the philosophy that keep pushing me, and I separate. The second thing I think I can do, and I'm doing, is that I also believe, you see, on a leadership or mentorship, you know that every one of us will pass off one day. It says you must be able, an effective leader is one who is able to make many of his kind.
Yeah.
The legacy.
So, yes. So I can have this philosophy. I can be distinguishing myself, and I can make many of me. Across this country, we have many of Alex Devine now. I don't know them personally. My team or in the county, they feel they conducting. Like I said, we established structure across 12 of the 50 counties. You go in from Grand Bassa to from Grand Bassa to River G, River Says, Sino, all that place there. They were on motorbike, riding motorbike. But why do you think they were doing that? You learn that from that leader because they see me as an example. So they rode motorbike and went across the country. And what they were doing, they were recruiting 30 young people, train and commission them as Youth for Change in each counties. So Youth for Change now is the only organization in this country that has structure in 12 counties. No organization got that. No. And the young people themselves in Sino, in Maryland, in Grand Julia, we didn't give them money. We don't have money. They themselves got their own office spaces, and they are running their own. They run Youth for Change extension activities there. So what have I been able to do? I've been able to duplicate myself. One of my friends, called Eric Wawa, he's in the States. He said legacy is not measured by your bank account.
No.
It's measured by the impact you are able to leave on the next generation. That is what I believe in. I want to live and leave this scene one day, and there are many Alex Devine. Of course, right now, I got some very many Alex Devine. Few of them are in the country. Like I mentioned to you, when you talk to Sata, you talk to Biola, you talk to John, you talk to Nathan, all these ones, and the ones you've not seen before, I've been able to duplicate my kind. That is what young people should do. Young leaders, people who are our kind, like even many of the other young people who probably can afford, they should start thinking about that. And within 2 years or 3 years, if we can have many of the way we behave in Youth for Change, we can have many selfless leaders who would know that mentorship, it is not about only discovering a young person. You go to one program, the child speaking properly. You say, oh, the child can speak. You say, oh, you might want to are your mentor here. But the next stages of developing that person, taking money from your pocket and making sure that child go to school. When that child is sick, it's your problem. When that child doesn't have trash can in their phone, it's your problem. It becomes your breading to make sure you develop that person and you are able to place them into an area, either into different university or find job for them. Then you say, yes, I'm done with this other person. Let me go and grab another 2 or 5 more person to mentor them. That is mentorship. We don't have that in this country. Liberians, we are groomed to be selfish people. Many of the Liberians, as they say, I just want to graduate now, and I get my master, and I get my wife, and I'm married. That's what they do. Many of the people who travel, who are in Liberia, just want to just graduate and get a master's and get married, buy a Boykai and ride and say, oh, that the man there, But yeah, we don't have many selfless leaders in this country. That's why the country is struggling with it, struggling. The people who you think you look up to, they just talk plenty. Okay. They talk, they don't even know the young people problem. I'm talking with passion like this because I know that problem. I talk to them every day. I sit with them.
Mr. Devine, let me ask you one question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you say you already in 12 counties. Can you get a difference between Maserati and other counties that you work with in terms of youth on that side, cooperation, and how they are services for you than Maserati County, their challenges? Can you draw that line between them?
Yes. The young people in the county, they're yearning for opportunity. The ones in Maserati County, they believe they got all the opportunity. Yeah. So you see more commitment and dedication from the county than you see from another.
Thank you very, very much.
And that was a very good question. So on that note, let's wrap this thing up. Let me go to you, Prince, for your final thoughts.
Yeah, Mr. Devine, the moderator, I want to tell you guys, thank you. But you see, our country, we need to get on our feet, and our leaders, our romantic leaders, they come out, they make things that say it is happening, and it is not happening. And then young people should start deceiving themselves. You can't be in Liberia. You see things as bad. You see things as worse. Then you go on Facebook, you go on the social media, you say things is better. You're deceiving yourself. You tell your leader say things are not better. You promise all day you need to do this for us. Otherwise, things will not go the right way for them. Let us start deceiving ourselves. Again, more young people in our country, we need to define our role in Liberia. And the young people define our role in this country, Liberia will get better. And our young people, it is a pillar of the country. And our best leader is to do the uttermost thing to work, to take the challenge for the young people. Because any nation will not survive. Why are you going to get the older people are educated more than the younger one? Then what are we heading to? I thought the young people were supposed to be educated than the older one. But the young people are less educated than the older one. So I'm asking national government, those that are offended with them, more especially the ruling establishment right now, let them forget about the politics, let them forget about what they can get for themselves now. Let them invest in the youth, more especially in vocational education, in agriculture and technology. I give you 2 years from now, the economy will boom, we will have things running, we'll go back in our country and help our people. The little we're doing is not enough. But if the government is sincere, we can send more money by there. Even if it's not going in government pocket, but when our people getting it, it will help to change things around. So I want to tell you, thank you. I'm willing anytime to appear on your program. It's a good program. I'll be in touch with you. And Mr. Devine, I will get in contact with you. We can work together to see how best to help the young people in Liberia.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Prince.
Yeah.
Alex, your final
Yes.
thoughts.
Okay, here's my final comment. There will be no time that this country will not suffer exogenous factor with our commodities that we have. The iron ore, the rubber, the timber will always have this problem because we don't determine the price on the world market. So it will always happen. We should understand that as a nation. We should derive different ways to stimulate our economy. In the different ways, there are options that are available. But before I close, I also like to re-emphasize and recommend to our government. It's time that the 62% of the population be listened to. Call for a national conference for the young people. Sit them around the table. Ask them about what they think the best idea to drive this country. They will give you amazing idea you never imagine, and they can help you fix this country. The second thing, like I said, when Amara Konen took over, he mentioned that 25% of the furnitures that goes into government offices should be Liberian products. I want to challenge this other government to make sure that that policy, is reintroduced and is, prioritized. Because when you do that, the same people who are the poor people who pay taxes to government, because there are two kinds of people that pay taxes in this country: the multilateral company and the ordinary people. The other people that were in government and minister and this, that, all of them got all their, how do they call it, tax waiver thing. They don't pay that. They don't pay that. The real people that can pay, that they petty trader and they small people who got furniture that they don't can pay the tax. Find a way to empower them. If you don't empower these people, it's a problem. As a common member, I'm a taxi on the street right now, like they do a lot of inspection and they stop a lot of cars. What can happen normally with car burning can be very hard because most of the people can park their cars when inspection is ongoing. Why are they doing that? Because they're not being empowered. So if you can start to identify and invest into this thing, I will also look forward to seeing that most of the young people who are entrepreneurs, having proven record in this country, doing businesses, managing, struggling young people, like Elvis, and many other young people, I would look forward to seeing whether the government can even take some money and call these young people who are doing businesses. Elvis, Macaulay, them, J Palm, these young people, call them, give some money, put some money, open an endowment fund at the LBDR and put money there, empower them, let people go and take loan and increase their businesses.
Avoid all the politics.
When people increase their businesses, they will be paying taxes. When they paying taxes, the economy is booming. Why are the people not thinking on the simple things? Like I said, techno say, forget about the BB thing then. Think about the small things. These small things. If this government, trust me, open and just identify some of these successful, entrepreneurs that are in Liberia here and open an endowment fund at LBDR, put a lot of money over there, let people go and take it and empower themselves. Money will be in the economy will be stimulated. I think when the government pays some attention, then I'm not talking about us that are doing humanitarian work. They can find ways to see how they can help us, but I'm talking about the business people. Maybe we are doing humanitarian work, they can derive another way, or we are the ones they can call along with the business people to sit down and to derive ideas as to how this country can work. I have too many ideas. So many other young people got some ideas, but they need to be listened to. We need a platform that brings everyone together to give the government the way forward. So thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to more of this kind of conversation again.
Thank you. And this Focus on Liberia is one of those platforms that will always endeavor to educate, to elevate, and promote all things Liberia. So some of these ideas are expressed here. I want to thank you so much for your time and your willingness and the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much. On Tuesday, watch us right here. My man, as soon as here, will be here on Focus on Liberia with the Hour of Politics. His guest, Sedition Dan Fenn, who will be talking about how fragile is the peace in Liberia, and that's all politics.
Yeah.
This week. Again, we want to thank all those who are watching by Facebook. We want to thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching us, please go to our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Anytime we have a show, you're going to see it right away. Just click the bell so that you can get the alert anytime we're on. On behalf of all of us here at Focus on Liberia, we want to say thank you, good night, and God bless. We'll end with our man, David Belly, who said, Mama.
Okay.
This is our way to say thank you, Imama. That's spell it.